Hi.
Hi,
How you doing?
how are you? Good. Are you at home or are you at the office?
At the house. Just forgot.
Nice
I
here.
forgot I left my computer at the house. So I had to run here to get it.
Oh,
I left all my shit at the office.
nice that you're close by.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi, Whitney.
how are you?
I'm good.
So I'm just gonna start talking, but see if anybody else joins in. But man, I want so for everybody that doesn't know, I literally here's Jason coming in. Hold on. There you are, buddy.
Hey, Michael, how you doing?
Good.
You have a good time at that conference?
Yeah, so I was just starting to talk about it. I just saw you coming in, so
Okay, well, I'll mute myself.
no, you're all good. So as probably most of you know, I went to their annual conference. We have not had this conference in over 3 years because of COVID and getting it back together. LA was a lot more strict than everywhere else, getting back up and operating for group gatherings and stuff. So yeah, it's been 3 years since the last one. So it actually started on, it was only a 2-day event, Thursday night sessions, and then all day Friday till from 9 in the morning till 10:30 at night. But we started the process on Wednesday evening for rally group, getting the theater ready and praying. Thursday night, Friday all day, Saturday, I took some people out golfing, the pastors that spoke. And then Sunday was church again. So they had 3 more speakers, kind of a continuance, even though it wasn't conference. So it was a long weekend of a lot of great messages. So man, I have so many notes, it's a joke. So like I probably have enough connect group stuff for the next year, but there's a lot of stuff I thought about talking about tonight. So many things came up and we will continue to talk about it and share. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 different speakers throughout the days. And pastors from all over the country. So Washington, Miami, Washington, LA, guy from Johnson City, Tennessee, Johnson City, New York, Johnson City, Tennessee. Great guy, Robbie Hilton, one of the best dudes. I met him years ago. He's such a good dude. Definitely look him up. Robbie Hilton, Stephen Chandler, Rich Wilkerson Jr., Julia Veach, Chad Veach, all people that you guys should look up on YouTube and listen to some of their messages. They're just wonderful speakers. So I picked the topic I did today because a couple of them mentioned it in their message all the way through. The whole conference was about awake, like the awakening, like we need to wake back up. It's time to get going, get up and go. The whole theme was around this. Like it's time now. We went through something. It's time. Let's get back. Let's go. Let's go stronger than ever. Let's get up and help one another that are dragging their feet a little bit, still in the fog of getting out of this thing we just went through. It's time for us to get up. It's time for the strong to help the weak. It's time for everybody to get back to life. Not as we knew it, but better than we knew it. So this is not like everybody keeps saying, oh, I can't wait for life to be back to normal again. That's not what we should be saying. We should be saying, I can't wait for it to be better than it ever was. Because that's where we're at. We went through something that we had to all focus on integral parts of our lives to understand what was good and what was bad in our own lives and what we struggled with or what was good. So the learning curve, we should be better than we were, not back to normal, back to much better than we ever were. So something that really resonated with me was Rich Wilkerson said something in his message, which was just, I've seen him so many times I can't count. I've known him for the past 5 years personally. I've seen him in person and online tons, and he's a great speaker. And this is the best I've ever seen him. Something was just different, and it was coming out of him. And the whole place, thousands of people that came, between the speakers, the staff, and all the people that attended, there was just this wanted and needed energy flowing out of everybody in this one room that was just overwhelming positivity and support. And I think it's just because so many people need more of this right now. This group and this connectivity and this connect group style of things where we're all in the same room, wanting the same things, listening to the same things, believing the same things, and optimistic for our future. So it's been on, I'm still on a high from it. I don't know if it's going to last for a while. Like it was just so much, but the thing that resonated, why I wrote the title I did, Rock Bottom is the Top, because Rich said something very clear to me that, when we say rock bottom, it's at our ultimate low, we feel like nothing else can happen. There's nothing else how lower we can go. That's what they call it, rock bottom, because the rock is the core of this earth, right? When we hit that there is literally nothing else that can go wrong in our lives. And I can test that. And the point was that at rock bottom, that rock, he meets you there. That's God. That's God. That's the foundation. That's where you start to build your foundation to build the next chapter of your life. That is, any strong foundation has to be built on solid rock. God is that rock. So when you hit rock bottom, it's not a negative thing. It's not I am hopeless. I have nowhere to go from here. Nothing else worse can happen. Oh my God, I am at the very bottom of the barrel. No, it's literally to show you that you've went through all the hurt. You finally got to the core foundation. Now you can start building from a place of knowledge, from a place of trust, from a place of faith. You can build on that rock knowing that that's it. That's the base. That's the solid ground. That is God. And you can build off that and create everything you've ever wanted and dreamed of now. So rock bottom is the top. It's the beginning of your future. It's not the end. Right? So we always talk about vocabulary and how we speak and say things and what they mean, manipulation and these words and the vocabulary that we teach ourselves by the repetitive speech we tell ourselves. Well, that's the thing about us. We tend to believe what we tell ourselves. That's the tricky thing. Problem is we're giving ourselves the wrong narrative all the time. And we're using the words without even truly understanding the definition. So rock bottom is getting to the core. It's getting to the earth's crust. It's getting to the most solid place you can start a life for yourself. And getting there was hard as shit. And that's the point. You think when these guys build skyscrapers that they send out a 2-man crew and they just dig a hole with a shovel? No, they got to dig into the earth to get to the solid point, to pour a foundation for that thing to go as high as possible in the sky and know that it's going to stay standing for the lifetime of the building, lifetime of that city, lifetime of the way beyond us. But it takes a shit ton of effort and people and community and strength and patience and faith to be able to build just the foundation, let alone what's on top of it. So hitting rock bottom is the point. You have to know what that is. You have to know where it is so you can build on it. We got to understand that what we go through is literally to have all the knowledge around how to get through. So we can't glide in this earth where it's like, oh, we'll read about it. Let's just read about it. And now I know. No, part of learning truly is not just reading books or being told this story, this great story, and listening and be like, oh my God, that's now I know. Most of this life is about personal experience, being in the moment, learning from it, understanding it, understand the dynamics of it, the feelings that come with it, the emotion that comes with it, the rawness that's with it. That's how you learn and understand if you're capable of or not of something, a job, love, relationship, anything. You can't read about it and know it. We got to go through it. And I think we got to change that narrative. I think too many of us believe that we can just, well, you read out in the news or you saw this person go through it, or I know what that's like. I got caught up in this a long time ago when I young age, I was feeling bad for myself because I felt like I grew up in this town that gave me no opportunity. It's like, oh, we're poor and we have nothing. And, why the hell did I grow up here? It's like, and then when I traveled and backpacked around the world, it was like, it was an embarrassment that came over my body. Like going to these countries, I was embarrassed to have felt those things ever. Because I had no relativity. I thought I knew what I knew from reading about it or hearing about it or being told about it. That's not the way. You got to see it with your eyes. You got to feel it with your hands. You got to touch it. See, that's why we have senses. We have to go through these things so that we can go through the full experience of what it is, so that we know what we want and don't want, what we like and don't like, what hurts us and literally pours energy into us. Like all those things have to have our touch on them. So rock bottom is the beginning. It should be the goal. You should be able to tell somewhere in your lifetime, in a season of your life, you should be able to say, you know what? I hit rock bottom once. And then I fucking built off it. And that's why I'm here today. But if you can never come across an experience in your life that didn't make you feel like you were at rock bottom, then you're not there yet. You still got something to go to get there. You're still going down there because you have to find your foundation to build on. And I think that was such a powerful and important message to understand that, every day, Robbie Hilton was talking about, every day we got to show up and put on the armor of God. Right? Every day you got to put it on. That's part of that is like prayer, getting up and praying. Like, do you ever feel yourself getting behind life or your job or getting behind in your attitude? And if you stop and look, are you putting the work in? Are you praying? Are you putting the armor on every day? Are you doing the things that it takes to feel good? Most of the time, the answer is no. And most of the time, it's pretty clear to us. We're like, oh man, I feel like shit lately. Oh, well, I also haven't been in the gym in the last 4 days. And I usually go all the time. Or, man, I feel like shit. I'm sleeping well. My stomach's, oh, I've been traveling for the last 6 days and been sleeping in hotels. I'm not eating well. Not sleeping in my bed. Usually we can track it pretty quickly to these things. It's the same thing with prayer. It's the same thing with the fruits that we need to bear from of our faith. Like there is work to be put in. You can't just say you believe in God and wait at your house. He ain't coming there. He's going to meet you where you're supposed to be met. Right? He's on his time. Rich told a story about God is on his way. Robbie told a story about God is on his way. He gets the message. When you put the message out and you ask a request or you pray to God about something, he gets it immediately. But it doesn't get answered immediately. That's the thing with us. We want it now. He gets it immediately. Trust him. But sometimes he's on his way to you and he gets stopped by somebody else and he has to deal with this conversation. Or he gets stopped by this prayer and he has to deal with that because that's the God he is. He's not going to ignore everything just for you because it's on your time and you want it now. He's got 8 billion other distractions in his route to you in navigation. So he put it in his GPS. He's coming to you, Jason. He's coming to you, Amber. He's coming to Lori. He's coming to Whitney. He's coming to me. But sometimes he has to get off and handle something before he gets back on and heads to you. That's his time. So we can't give up on the idea of like, well, when's it going to come for me? When's it going to happen for me? I have been praying for this one thing. Keep doing it. Just like everything else. Like you wake up every day, like you brush your teeth, like you do it because you know the long-term effect of it. You understand these things conceptually because you can see them and visualize them. And because we can't see, well, some people can, but can't see God show up at your door when you ordered it like Uber, you get all pissy. And you want to go away from that strategy. I'm not praying as much anymore. You gotta pay attention to the favor in your life. If it's starting to lack, look around you. What are you lacking doing? Are you being patient? Are you sticking to your plan? Are you continuing to every day wake up and put on the full armor of God and trust? Right? That he is on his way. But storms happen. Traffic happens. 8 billion other people are asking for this same as you. And on the way, he's taking care of all of it. But it doesn't mean he's not coming. He mentioned another thing that was very profound. I thought, when it relates to, these are two different people I'm talking about, but rock bottom is your top. But like, I think Robbie was talking about the message of like, the people that can find the devil in almost everything. Like, this must be the devil. This must be the devil. My car broke down. Must be the devil. Or car. You always relate all these bad things to the devil. You wouldn't blame that on God that your car broke down on the side of the highway. It's like, oh, the devil must have been in my carburetor. The devil must have been in the. He was talking about that everything is not the devil, but yes, some things are. Right? And you got to be clear of which ones are and which ones aren't. And that's why I say, like, using this vocabulary and understanding what you're actually saying. Oh, I've hit rock bottom. A lot of us say it in such a negative attitude, like, I'm done. I'm done. I've been trying this whole thing and I finally hit rock bottom. I'm done. And this is where people try to commit suicide. This is where people quit everything. They stop continuing to get up every day. They quit their job. They want to go on a hole. They get depressed because they think rock bottom is the end. And what I'm trying to say is it's the very beginning to the best life you could ever have, because now you know all of it. You've seen the good, the bad, and everything in between. And now you got a really strong foundation to start building your future on. But you got to be obedient to things, just like anything else. You got to be obedient. If you like feeling good and looking good physically, that's why gyms are built. That's what they're there for. Not everybody needs to or wants to or cares to. But if you do want those things, then you have to show up. Muscles don't come to your door knocking and go, here, can I get on you? It's not you're gonna wake up feeling like shit and be like, oh, the muscles are at the door. You ordered it. No, you got to do things to get there. If you want your gut to feel better, or you're having a problem going to the bathroom, there's things, what are you going to put in your body? You have to take action and be obedient. And you can't do it for this long. This is why gyms every year in Christmas and New Year have the highest rate of sign up. And by March to May, everybody's gone. Because nobody wants to do what it takes to maintain what they want when they see in others, or the comparison, or what you think they want to look like. Sometimes they just think they want that and they don't. You think you want to be muscular or thin or look better because other people do, or they think that's a judgment on you. But sometimes really what exercise is about is longevity of your life, moving, repairing, healing your body, white blood cells. So one, obviously we talked about this all the time. You got to understand your wants and whys. But too, you got to be obedient, and patience and obedience, you have to have the most at the bottom. So when you're at rock bottom is when you have to know for sure and be clear, have super clarity about who you are and what you want. That, okay, now, all that crap's over. Now I'm ready to build. And I know it because I can feel the solid ground under my feet. This is not a weak place to be, rock bottom. It's the strongest. But how many people you know want to start fresh, start over completely? People get fearful of that. They get anxiety ridden to thought of it, starting over completely, especially if you're not young. You know, when you're young, it's like nothing even sticks to you. You leave an apartment, move fucking 19 times, have 700 cars, 3 different girlfriends. Like nothing is sticking to you because you don't have any relativity. You don't feel like you own anything. You think you're invincible and you move around this world as a shell. But you know, when you start to establish your life and you first time you grow things and you get a house maybe, or you get things or possessions that are matter to you, or family, or when you start to grow things around you and you lose it all, the idea of starting over has such an attachment of fear to it for most people that it makes them unable to start. It cripples them from seeing the absolute opportunity that sits right in front of their face to have the best life they've ever had. Getting things stripped from you is not a negative thing. It's God's way to tell you that the things that were in your past were not for you. He doesn't want those things for you. You wanted those things for you. You're being selfish. What he wants for you is a greater life. What he wants for you are greater things, greater ambitions, greater goals, greater ideas. But he needs you to start over. He needs you to have the strength and faith to know that that was happening because he needs you to start over and start on a better foundation. Because the one you were on was weak. You were trying to build a mansion on a beach. It's going to look good and feel good for a while, and it's going to wash away in the first storm. There's going to be no foundation to it. Foundation, the bedrock, is where all the good stuff is. That's where all the good things about you are. Right? It's a core of you that cannot be penetrated. That's why I talk about the armor being put on you. The things that you build that are so solid, you like your faith, cannot be penetrated. Can't be. But not when you're going after things of the flesh or things that are not what his plan is for you. When you're over here paying attention to the selfishness of you and these things and these worldly things and possessions, you're not building on a foundation. You're not even building on you. So sometimes when they're stripped from you, it's part of the plan. We can't attach fear to it. We got to understand it. Wow, what a phenomenal opportunity for me to start fresh on who I really want and should be. We're too attached to things that we think that are ours. One, I truly believe that. I think that a lot of us get attached to things on accident, and we don't know why. We collect things, or we the idea of like, let's clean out the house and get rid of all the stuff we've never touched in years or we don't need. And it's like, whoa, hold on a second. Well, hold on. I mean, I know, but like, I mean, let's just put it over here. Let's just slide it to the left. What is this about us that's like, and I think it's because it's a collective of like our lives. Like even if we've never touched it or it's not even part of our life anymore, this book or this lamp or whatever, we never use it. It's like, it's something I earned at one point. And when I get rid of it, it feels like it wasn't worth something. It feels like that I peeled something away from my journey. And that's just not true, because possessions are only just things. They're not even ours. I mean, they're gifts. They're given to us in the fruits of the life going on this path. But why are we so attached to things that don't matter? You know? So that's like a deep dive into like, what is it that we're so scared of about recreating ourselves? You know, I don't think there's ever a time that it's too late. I don't think there's ever a time that it's like, well, I've built this life. I'm almost going to retire. I'm almost there. We have this idea because that's what we're taught, and that's just bullshit. I think it's complete 100% nonsense bullshit that's fed to us to keep us in line, to keep in the line of the workforce, and just keep doing the things and paying the tax and doing the things and paying the tax and showing up and going home and sleeping and eating and shit. And why? So that by the time we retire, we can't even do the things we've always wished we could do by the time we retire because we're so fucking old and tired. I know that's not retired is supposed to be a nice thing, but it sounds like I'm tired again. I'm retired. I'm tired again. I'm more tired. Like it shouldn't be that. We shouldn't be working for the dollar. It should be working for us. And that's what I mean by recreating ourselves. I don't want to get into a topic about money and government, all that crap. That's not why I'm saying. I mean, releasing the fear of what a new life might be like. You know what? Maybe I won't wait till retirement. Maybe I'll retire early. I'm going to move somewhere else where I don't need all these things. That is the reason I feel like I need to stay and retire, because I got to pay for all these things, or if I quit now, then what am I going to do with all this stuff? It's like, well, if we're starting over from the rock, you don't have any stuff to pay for. Take the money and run. I'm not suggesting anybody quit their job today, by the way, because I don't want to be responsible for that shit. I'm just, what I'm saying is, I think when we have the mindset of the possibilities, we don't have to quit our job. We don't have to take action of some crazy move across the country. And I'm not saying any of that. That's how I live, because that's how my brain works. I can't live any other way. What I'm saying is, start to create the ideas. Like when young kids, they're so creative, and when you watch a young kid play, he is literally in a world that he's created all around him, and he thinks those cars are moving and these people are fighting. He believes this action is coming to life. It's happening in front of his face, her face, because the imagination, the creation is so extreme. It can't be stopped because they haven't been limited by the things we have as adults. So all I'm saying is, bring a little bit of that more back in your life. Get creative in your mind. Think about what it would look like if you started over. Think about what if it looked like if you did hit rock bottom and that was your new foundation. How would you build it? What would it look like? What would be different? What would be the same? When you think positively about ideas and imagination, it gets you creative. It gets you flowing. It sends endorphins through your body. This positive thought triggers other things. So I'm not saying you got to quit your job tomorrow and go build a house on a rock somewhere. I'm just saying, if you have the ideas in your head and you allow yourself to be unlocked from the restrictions we've built on our single life today, you become free in your mind. Work will look different. The things you have will look different. Your life will look different. That's all. When you're feeling down, it won't feel as down. That's all. Get creative in your mind. Imagine, bullshit, fake it. All that is okay. We're allowed to do that as adults. What do you think faith is about? It's using your imagination and trusting in what your version of heaven or God looks like. Nobody has the same picture. You can go to hundreds of churches and look on the wall, and all the paintings are slightly different. It's because everybody visualized him different when they saw him. They saw Jesus and saw God through different eyes and different lenses, and it came to them in different shapes and forms. And to me, that's what faith is. It's like, you gotta imagine what it might be like. You gotta imagine what heaven might be like. You gotta imagine what an encounter with God or Jesus might be like, because it's not happening. It's not, you don't go outside and you meet him at the coffee shop. You got to use your imagination. Trust it. That's all, that's what kept coming up for me all week. I mean, so many things, like it's going to take months for me to digest all the good stuff that just came across the table and some of the life they spake in, but it was a lot of things that we talk about for this past year plus. It was like, some of the things, breaking the chain and refusing to allow any past be you. That yeah, your grandparents and their grandparents and your parents all affected you to this day, but that you're going to say it's going to stop here with me, and my children and their children and their children will not be affected by that. And we have that choice. We've talked about this tons of times, breaking the chain, and it stops with me, right? That's a choice we make, but it can't be a choice we make if we live in the limitations of what we've been taught. It's easy for us to do that because we've lived in it for so long, all the way up to the point where we've felt like we're adults and we've earned something. I don't know what age that was for you, remembering back where you felt like you were an adult finally for real, that you earned something like rent of apartment or your own car, or whatever that looked like to you, but you got that. And then what? What did you learn? What chain did you break? Where did it stop and you begin new? Or did you just go down the path of what you knew from prior? So there was a lot of great things that were brand new revelations to me. They were just powerful ideas, powerful principles. I love one thing he said: stop blaming the devil for disobedience. Like, that's huge. Like, it's not always the devil. Sometimes it's just you being disobedient. Sometimes it's just you being an asshole. Sometimes you're the asshole. It's not the devil. A lot of times when we're in an asshole place of our lives, we blame it on other things, like, well, because of this, or my boss, or the devil, or whatever you want to call it. We like to blame when we're doing bad. But the Bible talks about, like, the devil only comes to attack when you're doing the best. That's when he wants to convert you. When you're doing bad, he's got you. He's not even near you. That's easy for him. He calls that one in. It's like, oh, what's on Pinky? Oh no, he's already fucked. I'm gonna move to the next guy. He wants the guy closest to God. He wants to attack the person closest to God and convert them, change their mind. So when you're in the dumps and you're in the dark, there's nobody besides you being disobedient to your own morals and life. So again, rock bottom is not the doing of the devil. It's not. A lot of the times we get to these points because we haven't been listening to our own hearts and our souls and our minds. We haven't been creative. We haven't been and using that childlike mind, and we've been disobedient. Truthfully, when we feel bad, we're disobedient. We're not doing the things that we even tell ourselves to do. We're trying to talk ourselves into eating better, living better, being kinder to people, opening a door, make sure I'm more present. And then we get out in the world, we do none of it. And then we're like, why is my life still like this? It's pretty easy. I think we all know this, because I'm not like saying anything crazy out loud here. I think we know, we recognize it when it's happening. It's easy to recognize some of the easy things, like the eating or the working out or this or that, like these easy things. But I think the hard ones are the depth, the long lasting things that have started way before you were born into something, that are the hard ones to figure out what is affecting me and why. Am I becoming this chain? Is it affecting me? What's it from? Because we all are just born in a situation that's already happening, right? Like, we're in this situation today. We're all talking about how we are and our struggles today, but people are being born every day into what you think is your struggle, and they never asked for it. So we're sitting over here like feeling bad for ourselves, like, well, I can't, like, dude, we get born into it. That's why we have to be very conscious about the next choice we make all the time to get the fuck out of it and stop the cycle. Get out of the chain, get out of that network, break it, break free, get creative, move around, swing your arms, feel good. Like, you're not trapped in that line of work. That's what I call that. When you're born into something that you don't have a choice, you get trapped in this line of work and you're part of the company, the brand already, and nobody even asked you. That's what family dynamic is, unless you stand up and take a choice and change it. Make it stop with you, create something new. Something new starts on rock, hard foundation. So it's okay to hit rock bottom in any situation. And rock bottom doesn't have to be, I'm strung out on drugs and an alcoholic and I lost my job and I can't work. It could be you just lost your job that you really loved. Rock bottom is a feeling of failure to most people. It doesn't have to be all of it. It could be this tiny thing that happened, makes you feel like that's it. Nothing else worse can happen to me. You know people that are over dramatic like that. Break a freaking nail. I know people break a nail. They're like, oh, that's the end of the world. Like rock bottom, man. My nail broke. It's like some people are over dramatic. So I'm not trying to say it's got to be all heavy or all light, but we always talk about this. It's your version of it. I'm saying lean into it because there's an opportunity behind it. Death is a rock bottom situation, man. Death is always a rock bottom situation. You feel like you're helpless in death. But there's nothing in death more than a lesson to be learned if you keep your eyes open to it. There's a new building of a foundation. There's a new life coming out of death. It's either somebody coming into this world or you recreating yourself when somebody dies. You have a choice. I might run out of battery. Anybody have anything they want to share on any of this? Anything coming up for anybody? I want to start encouraging you guys. I thought about this last season of, I missed a couple of things and during this move and I've missed a couple of Mondays and traveling a lot and trying to get my stuff situated. But, I would love for, we did this once before with Jason and Lauren when they led the parenting one. I would love for any of you guys to let me know if you want to lead one or at least lead the topic in, and I'll help you through it if you don't want to talk the whole thing. But if you have something on your heart or on your mind that's coming up for you over and over, start with it. I want you to start with it. I'm going to lean on some of you guys. If I can't get to something, if I'm traveling or something, I cannot get to it. I don't want to miss any. It's very important to me. I don't. And maybe somebody can step up and lead that for that Monday if that happens. But I would encourage even the ones I'm at, if you got something heavy on your heart, that I want you to start the topic. And if you want to go through the whole thing, I would love to sit here and listen as well, because I learned just as much listening to you guys. Or if you want to start it and I'll talk amongst it, great, whatever. But I really want to encourage you guys to participate in that way. And I'm going to challenge you guys a little bit. I'm not going to call you out and make you do it. It's not a high school class. I'm not going to hit you with a ruler, but I will kick you out of the group forever. I'm just kidding. No, I would never do that. But I would encourage you. I think it's good for all of us. I think leading is listening and vice versa. I mean, it's not just one talking. It's always a combination. I can't grow and learn as much as I want to if I'm not listening as well. So I want to hear what's on your guys' heart too, and we'll go off it. Bring a topic, and if you don't want to talk about it, just text me the topic and I'll start it. Or you start it, whatever it is. But I want to start to hear some of the things that are heavy on your guys' heart and what keeps coming up for you, because it's important. Because that's how I do this. I never come into these things pre-planned. I don't write anything down ever. I see what my week's brought to me and what's constantly coming up on me, and that becomes our topic. That's how I do these. It's as simple as that. I've never pre-scripted anything. I don't prepare for these because I don't think it's natural. That's how things come to me. So if there's anything on your heart, text me privately. You don't have to text the group. You can text me privately, and I'd love for you guys to go. Does anybody want to share anything now that's on their heart? Doesn't have to be about the topic. It can just be anything that's sitting with them that's heavy or light or feels great or is poo-poo. No? Okay, well.
How's everybody's Man, that was an awesome talk so far. How did everybody else do this week? Jason, how you feeling? Whitney, how you doing? Everybody, what's going on, people? Everybody unmute all at once.
Yeah, let's do a chant, like repeat after me. I'm having the best week of my life.
The
Anybody
week's
agree with that?
starting good. The week
Everybody
is
agree with
starting
that?
good.
Hi, look at that little smile, Jason. You little
Yeah.
cutie. Hey, feeling better?
Yeah, I am. Actually, I am.
But
So I really am.
Good.
good. Whitney, how you doing? How was your week, kiddo?
It was good. It was good. Did a lot of house projects this weekend. So it's
How are
good.
those beautiful babies?
That's awesome.
Who else is here? Lori, Portia, how's everybody?
Hey, remember, that's what I want to say, that falling is not a failure of faith. Just so I want to make sure I'm clear about this message. Like falling to this place is not a failure of faith. Like I think we think in these terms. It's just an understanding that we have an enemy constantly hunting us. So sometimes he trips you up, he hits your leg while you're running, and you fall. It's not a failure in the journey you're going on. It's not a failure in the commitment to your faith. It's not a failure in who you think you believe you are. Sometimes you just get tripped up. But you got to understand, the better you get, the more hunted you be. That's what happens with the devil. He wants to get you back. So the better you become, watch more things be more challenged in your life. And we're gonna have a great conversation about this today. It's just when you choose a different life for yourself, when you choose better things for yourself, when you choose to be part of groups and lead and be connected with people and help people and support people and get more to do the things we're doing, all of you, when you choose these things, trust me, more will come at you.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Okay, two reasons.
That's a fact.
One, because the devil's hunting you, and two, because God starts to believe that your legs can hold anything. He believes you're the warrior that he put you out there to be. He's going to put more on you because he needs help. And the devil's hunting you. You just got to remember that the better you get at whatever you're doing, you're going to see a little bit more struggle in some things, but in good ways. It's more like responsibility than struggle.
And sometimes when you're rock bottom too, it may take 2-3 years too to find out the reason you were at rock bottom.
Right.
I've kind of seen that at work stuff.
Right.
And sometimes you find out, oh, there was a reason.
That's God's
And-
timing.
And also, like, it's so funny. Like, I like what you said, Michael, about like we're born into whatever family or whatever situation or country or religion or wherever you're born, you already have a brand, right? And then really then the rest of our life is about like the deconstruction of, do I identify with this brand? And if not, what do I need to do to become whatever my soul is calling me to be? And hopefully, that's God's, plan for us.
Yes.
But most people think, we're, the job or the relationship or the whatever it is that we hyper focus on for whatever imprinted reason when we're adolescent or in our young minds or in our non-wisdom minds or non-God minds, we think that's the big goal. And sometimes we have to build a whole empire only to then tear it down to really get to who we are, because it's the experiences and it's the when we see how resilient we are, like that whole thing like grandparents used to say and stuff about like what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. Like it doesn't really make sense until you have been through something where you're on your knees begging God and you don't think you can get through it, whatever it is in that moment. And whether you're the person that broke the nail or whether it really did, lost your mom or something like that. And then that kind of grief, that kind of identity crisis, that kind of deconstruction man, you think it completely wrecks you, and that's your rock bottom. And it's like, okay, but what did I build it all on? And if that rock is God or of faith or of good core values or something that is good, that's exactly the beginning, exactly what you said, Michael, where then we get to really build something that is not for us, but for everyone, and in honor of God, you know.
Yeah, love that. It's so true. It's just by experience, man. It's like Amber said, when they would tell us those stories, like don't touch the stove, it's hot, don't do this. They're speaking from experience. The reason why you rebel is because you have no fucking idea how hot it is. You don't have any idea how fucking burnt you're gonna be and how painful your hand's gonna be. It's because we have to, as humans, we have to experience things firsthand. That's why parenting is so hard. You go through those things and you want your kids to be safe from everything that you went through. Don't do that. It burnt me when I touched it. Don't try drugs because you can go down. Don't drink alcohol with your friends. Don't have sex. You're trying to protect them from everything you've already been through because you've seen the good and the bads of them. But that ain't gonna fucking happen. That ain't gonna fucking happen because humans are built to understand pain, to know what pain is, so you know what love is. So if you're not experiencing it firsthand, you can't read about it. You can't read how hot the stove is. You can't read how heartbreak can crush you in a relationship. You can't read about how love feels. You can't do these things by having somebody tell you or read about it or think it enough. You have to be involved. And that's why I envy parents, because it's so, you want to protect, and that's your job, but humans aren't built that way. They want to touch the fucking stove. They want to know if one, you're being a pussy and you think it's too hot and they don't, you know, a little bit of proving like I'm tougher, and or just like, what is hot? What is my limit? What is the thing I'm never going to touch? Right? And a little bit of facts. So the stove's hot. I touched it, burned my hand. Oh my God, never want to do that again. Oh, the facts are a fire is hotter than the stove. So I'm not even going to try that. You got to have some kind of relativity. So like Amber's right, like, you know, all this stuff doesn't make sense until we go through it personally. And that is part of the good failure mechanisms as humans. We got to go through stuff. We got to be in shitty relationships. We got to be heartbroken. We got to experience love and then get crushed by it. We got to experience the best job ever and get fucking fired. We got to experience abuse. We got to experience failure, success, all of it to understand what the limitations of our own world will accept. Until then, you're just speculating on what life is. You're speculating on what you think these things are, what you believe them in your mind to be. So get creative in our minds, get back to the kid mindset, start to look at a world that is different. What if you started over tomorrow? What would you do differently? What would it look like? What if there was no restrictions or financial burdens? What does it look like? What if everything you had was gone?
I'll tell you a kid mindset thing real quick.
Yeah.
My mom's last night there, I held her hand all night long, and my dad was so tired. I said, just go to bed for a little bit. He went, but he finally did. And I didn't know what to do. I held my mom's hand all night long. I sung Jesus Loves Me. That's the only song I know how to sing all night long now. And that's a kid's song, but that's the only song I know. And now when I need peace and quiet and everything else, now I go to that song, and I know my mom's right there. So there you go.
I love that, man. That's look, you just made me think about, for some reason, I have no idea why, I thought about the wheels on the bus go round and round. I just thought about the most simplistic, dumb songs that we sang as kids that we had so much joy in doing.
Well, you know what? That's the reason I brought that up.
It's so joyful.
And now I sing it when I need peace and quiet and think of my mom.
Yeah.
And I'll send you guys all a cool picture of my mom's headstone. They put Jesus Loves Me with all trees on it, and
wow,
the trees are the notes.
Love that,
I
dude.
didn't know they were gonna do that, and Dad did that. So that really hit me. So it's pretty cool. I'll send it to you.
I love that, man.
It's really cool.
I love that for you. That's so amazing. That's great.
So
Well, listen,
anyway,
I'm gonna end it on that because that's our childish note. I want to end it on think let's just do that. Let's end it on think of some ridiculously meaningless song you sang when you were little that you just could not stop singing that just brings you joy when you sing it now. Do that when we leave. Put a smile on your face for the night. And let's wake up tomorrow and literally put on the armor of God and get ready for the next day. I mean, every single day. Okay, love you guys. Appreciate you so much. I will
love
see
you guys. Have a good week.
Love you all.